Salut, c'est Géraldine, bienvenue sur Comme, Française TV, sound French, even to the French. The white towers of Le Sacré-Cœur are a hallmark of the Parisian landscape. 10 million pilgrims and tourists come visit it every year. It's the second most visited religious building in Paris after Notre-Dame Cathedral and prominently featured in the movie Amélie. And yet, people don't know much about it, even Parisians. Let's dive in. Une église sur la colline, a church on the hill. Le Sacré-Cœur's official name is la Basilique du Sacré-Cœur de Montmartre, the Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Montmartre. It stands on the hill of Montmartre, a Parisian neighborhood on the north side of the city. Many metro stations are available all around the hill. However, to reach Montmartre itself, you will have to walk up multiple stairways or ride on le funiculaire de Montmartre. The Montmartre funicular, le funiculaire de Montmartre. This train carries 2 million passengers every year. Whatever your choice, the view from the hill upon the entire city will be worth it, I assure you. As an aside, I'm sure you've noticed a special sign in the word cœur. E dans l'eau. E dans l'eau. It's literally an E in an O. Most times it's followed by a U or an I and pronounced E, like un œuf, un œil, ma sœur, all these kind of words. However, in some words, the E dans l'eau stands by itself and it's pronounced E, as in Édipe or fetus. But most French people still pronounce it E, like Oedipe. I wanted to show you this so you don't worry too much about French because we make mistakes in our own language as well. L'histoire derrière le Sacré-Cœur. L'histoire derrière le Sacré-Cœur. The history behind le Sacré-Cœur. The Basilica was built on an old place of worship dating back to les Gaulois, the Gauls before the arrival of the Roman Empire in the city. The first Frank kings, a few centuries later, were buried in a church nearby. It still exists today. It's l'église Saint-Pierre de Montmartre, l'église Saint-Pierre de Montmartre. However, the Basilica itself is surprisingly pretty modern. It was built in 1872. At that time, France had lost against the army of Prussia in 1870. The Parisians had suffered a long siege and they were worried of their new conservative government. In 1871, the Parisian workers started an uprising in Montmartre that later spread through the whole city of Paris. It became a 4-month-long experiment in revolution, radical socialism and atheism. La Commune de Paris. La Commune de Paris. The Paris Commune. The new government of moral order couldn't stand it, so the army was sent. They killed the rebels in La Semaine Sanglante. La Semaine Sanglante, the bloody week. A few months later, in celebration of the moral and national renewal, and to forever forget La Commune, they built a massive church in the place where the uprising began, Le Sacré-Cœur. Though the architecture itself isn't quite as ancient and impressive as Notre-Dame, for example. Inside the Basilica, you will find a large mosaic on the ceiling and the vast hall with white walls. You can visit the towers and you will see the biggest bell of the country. This bell was a gift from the people of La Savoie in 1880, who had been made French just a few years before. La Savoie is a part of France that I'm very, very fond of, with beautiful mountains and lakes in the Alps, close to where I live in Grenoble. But anyway, the best part of going to Le Sacré-Cœur isn't necessarily the church itself, actually. Autour de la Basilique. Autour de la Basilique, around the Basilica. The area around the church is wonderful. Surrounded around Montmartre, you will find gardens, hidden stairways, old houses, and even a vineyard. The neighborhood used to be a small village for impoverished artists living la vie de bohème. La vie de bohème. They were hungry and cold, but also creative and free. Nowadays, prices there are really high. The transformation and nostalgia is part of the famous song about Montmartre, La Bohème. You will still find some famous landmarks from yesteryear. The restaurant Le Moulin de la Galette, reminding us that there used to be several windmills up on that hill and depicted in many paintings. La Place du Tertre and its painters everywhere. Le Lapin Agile and Le Chat Noir, famous bars where young artists like Picasso used to hang out. And still today, musicians and flowers and cafes, and always out of the corner of your eyes, the white towers of Le Sacré-Cœur. Et toi, do you have a nice memory of Le Sacré-Cœur to share with us? What else do you know about Montmartre that I didn't mention in the episode? Share your experience and everything you know in French if you dare in the comments below the video. We can all learn from your story, even me. The comments section is the best place to start discussion with the community and ask me questions. Please comment if you like this video or if you have something else you want me to talk about. I read all your comments. If you like this video, share it with your friends and neighbors and family on YouTube, Facebook, on Twitter, on Pinterest, by email, any way you like. Help me spread the word about Commune Française. Merci. Do you love French? Do you dream of sounding French even to the French? And that's hard. Learn how with me, Géraldine on communefrancaise.com, and subscribe to my email updates for exclusive tips on real life in France every Tuesday, plus an exclusive video lesson, Introduce Yourself in French. And it's free. Merci for watching Commune Française TV, sound French even to the French. Allez, salut!